All of these contemplations in previous episodes and more leads to a change in mindset, an understanding that our society is part of our matrix and we need to liberate our minds so we can liberate our society and ultimately our souls is long overdue. It starts with our perspective and our thoughts. We need to change the culture of our society, and this can only happen with the right mindset. We need to care for each other and the earth. Kindness and cooperation are essential to our survival. Letting go of greed and the mentality of scarcity is absolutely essential to finally being free. From work, taxes, and the control mentality. It was time to put our desires into a real plan. It is not the first time some of us had visited this desire and made plans. Over a decade ago, I initiated a plan and found those who supported it to build a college community that was based on forward-thinking ideas similar to what some others have done on various places of the earth. There are many examples across the world of people building a sustainable or balanced community with community gardens and off-grid thinking. It was a model that could be duplicated and repeated. It could simply stop using money once it was established and work on a trade-based concept. I was ambitious and hopeful that we would succeed. A business partner and I worked a deal that would stand to handsomely reward our efforts. I intended to take my share and build this college community based on ideas that at the time were very forward-thinking and maybe even threatening to some. Unfortunately, the deal fell through. This project, it would free us from the daily grind and use our resources in a balanced and free way. So much is broken on Earth: the oceans, the rainforests, the air, the lakes, and even the water supply. And it all boils down to changing our mindset so that everything else will follow. The health and the starving children on the planet is reason enough. I could not stop thinking that there had to be a solution that would bring balance to this crazy world. It all began when I was little, and I would crawl out of bed to draw plans for a better world. I even made a zoo where all the animals roamed freely, and it was humans that walked inside of cages to see the animal people. I wanted everything to be balanced. I had hoped that it was an idea that would catch on and bring about a raising of consciousness in humanity in some way. Perhaps the idea was a big one, and as a scientist friend who supported the idea said to me, "You may have to start smaller," and he was right. This meant that I needed to start living it in a much bigger way in my personal life. I did not need millions to start manifesting it. I needed to live it the best I could and bring and support others along the way. This meant we needed to sell our home and move to a place more conducive to this practice. However, everyone can do this from where they are at right now. They can become small communities in their neighborhoods and form councils out of their neighbors, family, and friends. This was just what was personally right for us. I began by selling off many of the things that we really did not need but had become comfortable with. To those around me, it must have seemed like I had suddenly changed, but it was necessary and very freeing. We fixed up our home. We did most of the work ourselves, and we even had friends and family who helped. When our home finally sold, we packed up what we kept and looked for a place to settle. We bought an Amish farm, and we would need to get to work making it right for our family. We sold much, and we paid cash and planned to later add solar and wind to our energy supply. The home was smaller, but had a nice open concept, which was great for family dinners. When looking for land, we considered things like cost, climate, and what was nearby. I wanted to be away from these, and I wanted to be far enough out that we could have peace and quiet. Others would be more self-sufficient in this setting as well. Once we sold our home, we had a short amount of time to find the right place. we found this Amish farm. It was basic, and it would mean being off-grid, the internet, and not in contact with others for a while. It was a good time for me to reflect and meditate. Not only did we sell off lots of our belongings and also gave a lot to charity, but now at this new location, I was sort of rummaging through the past and facing things that I had either forgotten about or thought I had already addressed. For example, in the past I was teaching math at the time, and another chair asked me to teach a language course. I told them that I had not taken those classes in so many years, and I didn't feel comfortable teaching it, as I already had a pretty busy schedule. I told them that I could be a fill-in or substitute until they found someone. I figured I could teach vocabulary for a few classes. I was trying to be helpful. My coworker, an engineer I called my second dad, sat and observed. Initially, he said nothing. Then a couple days later, he said, "You'd better go talk to her and be sure she understood you. You don't want to get stuck with that." I went to her office and told her again. She smiled and said, "Too late. I already put you in the roster and published it in the catalog." I again told her I was not the right person and I would appreciate if she would find someone else and I could fill in until she did. Needless to say, the first few weeks were fine and we did vocabulary and simple sentences. Towards the end of the course, the students wanted more. With the full schedule I had, it was difficult to give it the attention the students deserved, especially since I would have to go back and relearn it for myself first. It did not go as well as I had hoped, and I felt bad for the students not getting the best for what they had wanted to learn, and she did not find a permanent teacher. Over the years, I had completely forgotten this situation. I had somehow stashed it away in my mind. I realized in the quiet of no internet, no phone, no electric, that I had not forgiven her or myself. I should have protested more and stood my ground. I ended up in a situation that impacted my performance. It was not right what she did. She used me as a scapegoat, and if it didn't go well, I was even more of a scapegoat, and she saved herself having to cancel a class. I, on the other hand, should have gone above her head when she said, "Too late, I already scheduled you in the catalog." I clearly told her, and my second dad later told me he had a feeling she would do that and was concerned that what she did was not right. There were other thoughts as well in the silence of washing clothes by hand, boiling water, and cooking on a grill. It gave me a kind of reset from the current madness in the world. It was one I welcomed. Now more than ever, it's time to go back to nature and do just as the Native Americans prophesied as imperative. Many of us agree, and many more are coming to this awareness on a daily basis. So our family decided that we would do just that. We would start a homestead and put each other first as ourselves. We would live more simply, but more free. We would produce what we could to share and trade with others. We would be a vegetarian farm, and there would be no killing here. My son and I talked, and we both felt that we would dedicate the land to peace and harmony. It was important to both of us. My husband was stretched by all of this, but with the current madness in the world, he agreed. He has been a great support in setting up the farm. We no longer had a mortgage, and this was freeing for him as well. There is still much to do, but it's a blessing to balance your life and be part of a solution to this world of madness we currently find ourselves in. We need a new society. We need a whole society, where hierarchy is a thing of the past and cooperation is central to what we do. Continue on this journey with us as we hope to inspire others to find their path to peace and balance in this world.
Whoa.